all. Marvin here from Blacktop Banter. Really quick, just wanted to talk about the 800 Pavement Network. As you can see, we have some lettering there, lettering on our other truck over there, lettering on this truck here. They all say 1-800-Blacktop. We've been using the 1-800-Blacktop number here for the last couple years. It's really been exceptional for us as far as making things click with our branding, and now that we're in another state, those area codes are together. It's worked out fantastically for us. The other thing is that 800 Pavement Network has other advantages. There's group discounts on a lot of the products and materials that we use within our industry. We're part of over 300 different, see that one? Over 300 different contractors that are now using these numbers all over the country. That's combined over $2 billion in gross profits. So if you've been thinking about it or you're curious about it and you're like, well, no, should I or shouldn't I? DM me, message me, or reach out to 800 Pavement Network. You can find them online through their website. You can call 1-800-Pavement and you'll get them as well. They'd be happy to run you through kind of the advantages and everything else that we've been taking advantage of here at Wiscoat and Dubuque Asphalt Maintenance, and how it can benefit you as well. Once again, if you're curious about it at all, you can always DM me. So yeah, 1-800-Blacktop. You can DM me or message me or email me through the podcast or Wiscoat or wherever as well. I would love to talk to you about how it has helped us. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Blacktop Banter. We are in the new studio, and this is our first kind of test run in the new studio. I'm not quite sure if I like how the camera is back and forth. I kind of feel small, which is a first for me, right? But I kind of feel small in the frame and whatnot. So we'll see how it works. We might try some different camera angles and different things if you're watching on the video form on YouTube. But if you're in the audio form, I still should sound the same size. So we'll keep that the same for you. So this time of year, you see a lot of stuff on social media, a lot of people that have had their seasons come to an end, and they'll talk about their experiences, or they'll just highlight their work and some things like that. And I was scrolling on Instagram the other day, and something came across my feed, and it was a video where I could finally put face to the name and audio to the face and everything all at once. But it was actually the content that really caught my attention. So before we jump into what it was that actually caught my attention, that I thought maybe we should bring to the attention of the listeners and the viewership here at Blacktop Banter, I'm going to let this fella introduce himself. Go ahead.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, man. Just want to say I've been following you for some time now. I love the movement. I love what you're doing in the space, man, and I really applaud it. I think it's contagious, man, when you see someone else in the space we're in just getting after it. It's cool to see. But yeah, man, thanks. Excited to be on today. A little bit about myself. My name is Gerry Sebby. I'm the owner of Asphalt Authority in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I don't have a traditional background like a lot of maybe some of the asphalt guys have. I'm from the corporate sales world, suit and ties kind of thing like that. I did that for the last decade. But it was a great experience, man. It prepared me to be who I am and to lead the business I'm leading today. And I'm just very thankful for that background. But man, it's really inspiring to see some of the work guys are doing on Instagram and Facebook and the podcast world. And I mean, that's all I've been doing, man, is picking apart, checking out other people studying game film, just kind of learning from, others. And yeah, that's why I'm on here today, man. And I'm glad you hit me up, and I'm here to share a little bit about what has made us successful as we go into, we're still a young company, but into our real second year next spring. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I think one thing you do when you watch social media, and especially the social media from our industry specifically, is you see what people are doing and you think it's like, dude, that's cool. Well, if we think it's cool, more than likely the people who are around us would think it was somewhat cool, right? So I try to create content for like Wiscoat, which you do with Asphalt Authority. We try to make content that grabs their attention, that they think is cool, that helps with our branding. So I do that a lot this time of year. Once we slow down, which I do it a lot throughout the year anyways, being as in the position that I'm in. But I try to take from everybody. And if they're winning and I see that they're winning, and then I see some new shots, right, that I think is really cool, and I see it gets a great response from our industry and people outside the industry, I really try to bring that to our house too, as well, of like, okay, this is working. I'm learning from people within my industry, people outside my industry. Like, there's no shame in that for me at all, dude. Like, if there's
No shame, man.
right, that's a trend, right? They're like, oh, this is the trend. Well, dude, if you're winning, like, okay, I want to do it. I want to see if I can create some of that to help me win and stuff like that too.
No
um,
doubt.
Tell us a little bit about everything that Asphalt Authority does as far as services and whatnot, where you are.
Yeah, sure. So, in our first year, we're not trying to spread ourselves too thin. We want to kind of be niche in three main areas. The main three, where a lot of guys on Instagram kind of do, but we do seal coating, we do crack filling, and we do striping.
Cool.
And then obviously we do some smaller patchwork kind of jobs, but no paving. One of the first things I kind of did was when we came into the industry in the Northeast Indiana area was I linked up with some paving companies. I kind of did some cold calling and door knocking, and I said, "Hey, man, my name is Gerry. I'm here to get after it, the seal coating. I'd love to show you guys some work at the beginning of the season, and if you need any seal coating work, I'd love to do it for you guys. And likewise, I'm going to need a lot of paving. So I'm just trying to create those relationships from the get-go. That way I could give quality and some of the services that I wasn't offering. And then I could do some of the seal coating for some of the other guys. But that's been really beneficial my first year, is I was able to stay really busy by creating those relationships across industry.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've come to find too, right? Like, we try not to spread ourselves too thin. We really are focusing, especially at Wisco, we focus on delivering an experience, right? When you call at Wisco, like, we want you to not feel like you're getting a run of the mill service. We don't want it to feel like, yeah, your furnace is down, we'll be there at 8 o'clock to fix it, and then we fix it and then we leave. We want it to be an experience from the moment you call all the way to the end, to where you're like, I was not expecting a seal coating company to treat it this way, right? To have
Yeah.
it this way. And what that done is essentially create, I like to call it like artisan almost, like our boutique kind of seal coating company, where we provide something very unique compared to the only thing that's similar is the fact of what we do to the pavement. Everything
Right.
outside of that is unique to us at Wiscoat and what we do. And what we've been able to find is we are selling that. Therefore, we're able to upsell or charge more for margin, that experience, right? That customer experience and what they feel like and what they believe. All of a sudden, like, we're not bidding with price. I hope people are trying to bid price against us, actually, when we go out and bid,
Right.
because it allows us to sell on what we are doing that they're not doing. And all of a sudden, here we are, Gerry. We got more margin, man. And I think that that's the beauty of people that go into it understanding that, like you guys are. It allows you to create margin and create space and not be so stressed right out of the gate of how are we going to make this work, if you're able to do that type of stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, with the seal coating industry too, at least in Indiana, is, I mean, anyone can really do it. It doesn't require a general contracting license, and it can be, very overpopulated. Like, you do a Google search, for instance, and you can pick through 50 companies in our area, but like, what's the differentiator?
Right.
I mean, I think like it's a percentage of like 97% of people use the internet to search for a local business within, their area, and then 92% use Google. So that tells me as a business owner now, like, I got to throw all my eggs in the basket of my Google and online reputation. So I got to pass the eye test from the get-go. I need my pictures updated. I need my reviews on point. I need my website, my phone number popping off on there. And that's something that I've put a lot of focus on in our first year. I'm really proud of it. I think we show up. We're on the no scroll zone, top 3 for every asphalt SEO search on Google. So
yeah,
that's huge for us.
That's the goal, man. Yeah, and I mean, that's not easy for just anybody to do, right? Like, it's not. And if you have the awareness to do it yourself within your own business, that's fantastic. If not, what we've tried to do at Blacktop Banter is like there's guys that aren't good at that, right? So we're like, okay, we can provide that for you. We have the team and people put forth in order to develop a really good website, SEO, and Google My Business, and we'll help you get to that point so you can focus on just doing the work, right? And because
I love that.
ultimately that's all I'm good at. To be honest with you, I can flap my gums really good, which is great for the podcast, right? And when we talk, and I love to talk and speak and can hold any conversation. But when it comes to actual asphalt business itself, what I was really good at was doing the work. I wasn't really good at developing my website and SEO and everything else. Became really good at content creation and branding, which I didn't know I was good at until I started to do it. But all the other intricate stuff, even my admin side and everything, Steph, who helps me out at Blacktop Banner and at Wiscote, when she first got her, she's like, "What are you doing? Like this, you can't run an office like this." I'm like, "Well, I have been." She's like, "Not efficiently, I can tell you that much." But when we talk about those differentiators, we can kind of jump into why I wanted to spark this conversation up today. We have the Blacktop Banner Success Group here now that has contractors that have been around for a long time, right? And then we have new contractors, and the crazy thing is that we all learn from each other. We all bounce things off of each other, and some things that used to work don't work very well anymore. And there's new things that have come up nowadays with social media marketing and branding that some of these more established guys don't really get yet. And we're watching their businesses dwindle, and they're like, "Well, we want to wrap this up too, so that way we're here for the long haul and for a long time." But one thing that I've noticed within probably the last 2 years, especially since COVID, is that some old school things mixed in with new school advertising and branding are becoming huge differentiators on having that feeling, that experience feeling that the customer has right away. They're really becoming huge differentiators, and sometimes I hate doing this, but sometimes they seal the deal for you without you actually having to like try so hard. And one of those things that you mentioned that we've talked about a lot lately is punctuality. Now, I don't even know if some of our listeners will really realize what punctuality is, but when you think about it in the sense of grammar, it's crossing your T's, dotting your I's, put in the periods where they go. It's all the details that make something look complete, right? That grab your attention. Why don't you kind of help us define punctuality when it comes to seal coating and asphalt world and asphalt businesses in general?
Yeah, sure. So in that context, punctuality to me just means following through with whatever you're telling your customer. So one of the things before I got into this industry is I kind of studied across the board what everyone else was doing. I looked at all my competitors in the area. I wanted to see their presence. I wanted to see their reviews. I wanted to see, where they were excelling. I wanted to see where their detractors were. And then I started, scaling that to larger companies after I was on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm like, man, what are these like beasts doing? Like how are they so good? What are their customers saying about it? And I started to notice something, man. Like the guys who were really bad, right? It's almost always the commonality is like integrity, right? Like they're just doing shoddy work.
Mm-hmm.
But like a majority of like the middle of the industry, man, is like those detractors and the negative reviews. Like the most common thing was punctuality. It almost always came back to poor communication.
Mm-hmm.
If I could like give you an example of the most common review for the bad ones, it was Joe's Seal Coat said they would be there on August 3rd, Saturday, and they never showed up. Yeah. And that's both discouraging to me and encouraging, because like as an owner operator who's in Indiana and we're seasonal business, it's like I understand it, man. Like we're freaking busy. Like we do a whole 12 months in 6 months, so it's like you can do so like the discouraging thing is like you can be great 95% of the time, and on paper like that's an A+, but like that 5% will kill you. So that's discouraging me, because someone's going to leave you a bad review. But the encouraging thing to me is like, you can, that's a controllable. It's not an uncontrollable. An uncontrollable is, a sealer shortage or a paint shortage.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you can, prevent those bad reviews by being punctual and communicating. And if you know rain's coming tomorrow, like communicate that ahead of time. Like send a text first thing out in the morning. Hey, I realize I see the weather today. We will get you back on the schedule. Or another review I used to see a lot was we called the phone number. The young lady on the phone took her information. I never got an estimate. I called back a month later and they couldn't find my information. Unprofessional. Boom, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, like that's what punctuality is. It's like customer service. Service equals sales to me. It translates, it passes the eye test. And like, that's why the reviews, and that's why like 94% of, or I'm sorry, like 80-ish% of our reviews over the last 12 months have included like quality, punctuality, and professionalism in there. And that's like something we pride ourselves on. It's on our mission statement on our website.
So essentially, so when we have some guys that are starting out right in the Blacktop Banter Success Group, which I keep talking about because we've been doing it a lot here lately and going over a lot of things like this. They see the big companies, right? And they're like, man, like I don't want to, like I want an answering service. Like I want somebody in the office answering it and doing whatever. So they try to not so much fake it till you make it, but they put out a false image that they're this huge company, right? And even in the residential side, to me, sometimes that's though, and what you're saying with the way you look at it, sometimes that's a disadvantage compared to what the customers are looking for, right?
Definitely.
So I tell some of these young guys where they're like, man, we can't spray a parking lot in a day. I'm like, well, why? Well, because we broom it all. I'm like, then why aren't you highlighting that that's what you do? You hand apply it still to these clients, right? Versus me spraying it. Like you could the way that you market with your mind, you can outpeg whoever one way or another, right? So if I go in and they're like, well, the other guy was going to broom it, I'm like, well, we're going to spray 2 even coats everywhere. We're not going to pull the sealer off the top rock. But some of these other guys, right, where they're like, well, they're just going to spray it. It's not going to fill the crevices. We're going to broom once, and then we're going to broom it again, right, or whatever. We're going to put the coats down. There's a way, both ways to do that. So while it doesn't seem like to the beginning contractor that it's very professional, that there's not somebody at the front desk answering the phone and taking a message down, to some clients, and especially if you highlight it like the way you did in that video of, hey, when you call, that phone is in my pocket. Like it's going right to me, right? In your video, you're like, that goes right to me. If there's an issue, it goes right to me. If you want something, it goes right to me. It all goes directly to the owner. You're not going to get that at Wisco. Like you're not going to call Wisco's number and it goes right to my pocket. It's not going to happen anymore. That's a disadvantage to me compared to Gerry, who can talk to the client immediately. There's another step for me to talk to them back, right? That's an advantage that can be taken care of when you're marketing. Now, can I spin that on my end? Of course, but that's not what I'm not going to make the content for that right away. I should, now that I know there's guys like Gerry, Sebby that's going to be going into making content like that. But you used that really well to your advantage in that video. Can we talk about that a little bit? How you got a lens for that and highlight those types of stuff? That goes into punctuality too as well.
Yeah, definitely. So if you haven't seen, I posted a video on our Instagram page, and what I was talking about was,
and that's at Asphalt Authority, right?
Asphalt, yeah, at Asphalt Authority, yep, and on Facebook. And in the video, kind of what I was talking about was just being secure with your size as a company, and whether you're a small owner operator or a larger company, like just being transparent about that. And me being, in my first year, I've talked to a lot of customers where, they've asked me, hey, like, I've been on Google and, I've seen a lot of businesses, like, why should I go with you? And I was just in the video, I was explaining like one of the bigger differentiators is like, I can talk about, well, you're getting a personal connection. A lot of these businesses, when you call, you don't know who you're talking to. We're a family owned business. And I have that phone number in my pocket, and I'm, fully accountable. If you look at our reviews, we have great response time. We have a 24-hour turnaround time mostly on our leads sent to us through an estimate with the customer. And in a seasonal business where if you need something done, really quickly, that's important, that turnaround time. And then the fact that, if anything were to ever go awry, or if you had any issues, we're one call away from my pocket. And all those numbers on our trucks. That's also our number there. And yeah, that's kind of what I was highlighting in the video.
Yeah, I mean it's a separator. I think that's the thing nowadays, right? And I think that sometimes people look at it with a one-track mind of, around here we have a huge company, not Wisco, but there is another large company, and most contractors would look at that and be like, we can't offer what they offer, right? And then really what they should be looking at it is they can't offer what we offer, right? I mean, if you just spin that on your mind, it allows you to market who you are, what you are, and what you can provide versus them. And there's an advantage both ways, man. When I first started, I was just like yourself. The phone was in my pocket, and my number that was on the side of my truck ran straight to me. And I built my business on that fact that the owner is here doing the work. And if it doesn't turn out, I'm literally going to be looking at you in the face, and you're going to be able to tell me, no, it looks like crap. And then besides that, my name is tied to it then with my number, so other people could call me or do whatever. If you don't provide what you say you're going to provide, that can come back to bite you in the ass. If you do provide what you say you're going to provide, that can be a super valuable asset to build your company to a certain point. And then from that point on, like, we're going to be taking on sales guys here pretty soon. Like, now we're to that point where I don't really have to worry about that so much because our brand is so big, the leads are coming in, and we're growing and expanding in that way to where I am on my way to becoming that larger company, the one that I pitched against early on, right? That's just how business grows and goes. One thing all the way through that being transparent forces, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is high quality work, right? No matter how big I get or how big my brand is, if we start doing shitty work, that's going to get tied up with my brand, no matter what I put out. And if you do it when you really are starting out, you do shitty work, you're going to be done before you even get started. They know your number, they know your name, they can call you, they can say, yeah, this is the guy's number, he's didn't do whatever. That's one thing that it kind of leaves you on the hook for it. But what it does too is forces guys like yourself who want to excel. And we have an initiative coming up, or I guess it is out. Like, this podcast will come out when the new year starts. And that's raising the bar. So we're using hashtag raising the bar with 2 B's. So it's raising the BBAR, raising the bar. And we want our listeners, the viewers and listeners within the asphalt industry, to kind of embody what you're doing there and what we provide here, which is raise the bar, raise the way that the industry and our work is viewed. Therefore, we get higher margins. Like, dude, we deserve it. We work our asses off, bro. Like, it's still physical labor, and it's one of the hottest jobs in the world there is. Like, we shouldn't be trying to win bids from each other by being the cheapest. Like, it's going to kill us.
Right.
It's going to kill us, right? So, that's another aspect of it. I mean, it allows you to be in a crowded market, but separate yourself from everybody else, whether they're the guys that are doing shitty work or they're these huge companies. If you highlight and focus like you guys have, it tends to help that out. Would you agree that that's kind of what you've seen as well?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think another thing is I've heard you say on the podcast before is, like, people are so afraid about, like, sharing the secret sauce, and it's like, if you're doing things at a high quality, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
you can tell everyone what you're doing, because here's the thing about asphalt: there's a lot of it, man. I'm not looking for the whole pie. I just want a piece of the pie. Like, everyone can be wealthy together. But
I just
like,
want
for
the
me,
topping, bro. I want the ice cream on top, bro. That's all I want.
exactly.
Sugar.
But exactly, man. So it's like, I'm a big fan of that too. I like that. I like that movement, raising the bar.
Yeah.
It's iron sharpens iron, man. So it's like, the better asphalt companies are around me, the more accountable that's going to make me. I have to be more on top of my game. And like you said earlier, man, you just do your thing, you stay in your lane, and if you're providing quality, you can have the prices that reflect that. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing.
I mean, here's the thing, right? It's that image of we're so small that we don't want to highlight what makes us small, right? Actually isn't such a detriment as it used to be. Actually, if you highlight what is good about being small, right? That the owner is in fact putting the sealer in, they're doing quality control. right? And then they're taking the extra steps to make sure we deliver on a high quality product as well. All of a sudden, if you do that with branding and social media marketing and that gets put out there, you're differentiated from the guys that don't do that right away, right? And therefore, it does raise the bar and bring stuff to it. But it puts you on a fast track for growth, man. It just does, and then that becomes an embodiment too of your company as it grows. Of, hey, we've been transparent. That's what's made us successful, is being transparent. And then you don't ever look like you're hiding anything, right? And that allows you to have longevity and become legitimate in your area where you are and what you're doing.
Hey, real quick, could I just say something real fast?
Yeah, please.
It just got me thinking, because you said that you've been talking to some smaller guys, and when you use the example of how they will broom a parking lot and how are they going to compete, is I feel like in my first year, I did a lot of stuff that a lot of first year guys didn't. I did a like 380,000 square foot shopping center, and I just went for it. And I think one of the big things is like, you can be small and do big projects, but you have to be like responsible about how you do them. Like, you can do number of mobilizations, and you can do it with a spray bar, for instance, and you can do big projects, So like, I don't like necessarily, when people are scared to do bigger jobs. Obviously, like you said, if you take on a big project, man, you botch it. Like, that's your name from the get-go. It's hard to come back from that.
Oh, buddy.
But you also got to take risks, man.
Or you break yourself doing it, right? Like, there's been guys where I was like talking to them like, dude, sub it out. Like, if you got it, sub it out and take a small margin off of it. And they're like, nah, we can do it. And then all of a sudden, they get halfway through and they're like, this is taking a lot more than what we thought. And I'm like, yeah, you couldn't job cost it correctly. You don't have any experience doing that. And here you are, you hung yourself out to dry, right? When you could have just, I get it. You don't want to give a competition a job, but here you are. You did make a little bit of margin. What I did, dude, early on, I never subcontracted seal coating work out, thank God. But we did subcontract our line striping out early on. We still do. I still subcontract line striping out. If it's massive and I know that we can be more efficient doing other projects, we'll do that. But when I didn't, when I was just had time and I didn't know what I was doing and I was subbing it out early, every one of those times I learned. Like, I was there. I wanted to see how they laid it out, what machines they use, how their techniques were, right? And then I asked questions and things too. And pretty soon I used it as a learning experience to where all of a sudden, like, I wasn't having to sub it out anymore. I was taking it on and I was proficient in doing it and doing it well. Like, there's little hacks, dude, to get from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C and D. And like you said, sometimes you do got to risk it. Like, there's times where, like, I bid a job and I bid it high thinking, dude, I'm not outfitted for this. I don't want any part of it, but I also don't want to tell them that I'm not outfitted for it. And we got it. And then when my hand was forced, dude, where I was like, bro, you got to buy a Crafco. Or, bro, you're going to have to sub all this out. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. And I'm like, oh, crap. And it stretches you a little bit, right? You get a little bit more experience under your belt. And then that's growth, man. Like, that's growth.
No growth occurs in your comfort zone, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't go to the gym and lift weights and think you're going to get big and your muscles not hurt. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're going to have pains, bro. It's going to hurt. I mean, I'm not saying I got this physique from a dedicated weightlifting regimen, but what I'm saying is that in growth, you're going to have pain. You're going to stretch yourself a little thin sometimes too, as well. And speaking about that, what's next then for Asphalt Authority? Everybody always loves when I ask that question because they hate to be prompted with that. Most of the time, we're just going to keep doing our thing. But you got a good brand, you got good things going. One thing that I'm proud of, Gerry, is the fact that you're very well articulated. You've researched really well. You're taking probably 10 years off of the old school way of getting from where you start to where you are going to be this next year. You're fast tracking that by being really well educated, taking in what we do here, taking in knowledge and applying it and getting some kind of structure going to what you have going there. What does the future look like for Asphalt Authority? I won't ask you such hard questions after this one.
No, that's all right, man. So like, I always say, like, in any business, there's your forming, norming, storming, and performing phases of your business. So we formed, we stormed.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, so there's in the facet of like your business, there's your forming, you're storming, you're norming, and you're performing.
Okay.
So we've had storms last season, man. I mean, the workforce was tough, but we were able to keep some really good guys. And we're trying to build a culture at Asphalt Authority, one that we take pride in. So we've formed, we've stormed, and we're in the process of hopefully doing a lot of performing next season. So my goal as the business next year is I have some number goals already, from growth standpoint of what I would like to hit. I'm not going to share those with you, but we've kind of reviewed our financials this year. We have some goals set for next season. They're pretty aggressive, but they're attainable, especially because we put a lot of emphasis on our Google reviews and things like that, trying to become a household name. Cool. And yeah, we want to we just want to get a lot of projects next year. And the nice thing is, with us having a little bit of our name out there now, because we've had one established season, we can have a really, really productive and proactive spring where we can really meet with lots of property owners with a portfolio of some jobs. And
so sharp.
So yeah, that's our goal. Yeah.
Dude, you're so sharp at it. And that's the crazy thing, right? Is that you don't talk to very many first year contractors that have that mentality. You have a year's worth of references under your belt. So if you need references, you have them. Not only that, you have content from a full year that you can create content with in the spring, right? To do targeted Facebook ads or Instagram ads or whatever your location, LinkedIn posts, whatever it is that you're aiming to do with that content. Personal, like I post a lot of stuff on my personal Facebook too, because a lot of people follow my personal life but won't follow Wiscoat, right, or Blacktop Banter, but they still get a dose of it. They still know what I'm up to and what's going on. That's like, if I could build a framework, like I hate to keep like, making your head bigger, but if I could build a framework of what you would want somebody to be embodying in our industry to set themselves up for a great level of success after year one, it would be what you're doing, right? So
appreciate that, man.
That's what we need. Like, that's what the general consensus of raising the bar we need. We need people with that mindset versus people who was like, I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but guys who worked for somebody else who was working out of the back of their truck and then thought they could do it better, so they decided to go out and get buckets or a tote and do this. And I get it. Everybody starts wherever they start, but your mentality switch, changing your mind. I wish I had that hat on right now. We got new Blacktop Banter hats that say "change your mind" on it. And cool. if they could get that, if they could change their mind right out of the gate of everything that they know and what they think they know, and then what their goal setting is, which you just talked about, dude, they're on a fast track for success, and they have a really good, strong foundation. And that's key for people to have the longevity and the success that you guys are looking for there at Asphalt Authority. And like I said, dude, that what your goal should be, and I say this a lot when we talk about brand. You want to be in the no scroll zone, right? Like, that's everyone when this is my opinion, right? And this is my goal when we take people on for coaching, mentorship, or whether we're a consultant for them for their asphalt company with branding and social media. We do website building, we do SEO, we do Google My Business. We want them to be in the no scroll zone. It's a very, very important. That, I feel like, is the easier version of the ultimate goal, which is when they open Google, they type in Asphalt Authority, right? We don't want them to type in seal coating, Jamestown, Indiana. I don't want them to do that. I want your brand to be so strong where you are through your content you put out that they type in Asphalt Authority. And then there's nothing else there, dude. It's all your content, all your people. They already know, they've already decided in their mind through the brand that they know that that's what they want to do. Like, no one goes in and types in tennis shoes on Google. They type in Yeezy Boots 350s, right? Or they type Jordan 4s. Like, they know what the F they want. That's what our goal is with branding, and where we want it, where people should want the goal to be. To get.
I think that's great for you guys too, because you guys are offering that package to people who necessarily can't do it on their own. And like you said earlier, like when you first started, you didn't really know a lot about SEO. I mean, a lot of guys who start their own businesses, we figure it out, man, but it doesn't mean we're good at it, but we're trying to figure it out.
I hacked the system, bro. By doing content creation and Google ads, or Facebook ads, dude, I hacked the system. I went around all that stuff. Didn't know that that's what I was doing. I just enjoyed making videos about seal coating because I wanted somebody to be able to talk to it talk with it about, right? To be able to, and that's the hardest thing, dude. Developing that brand is the hardest thing to do. The next level of what you should do is exactly what you guys are doing, right? Because you can do that. You can do great SEO. You can get great Google reviews. It just depends on how determined you are to make that happen. The hardest part is creating that brand where they go to Google and just type your name of your business in, right? That's the hardest thing to do. But that should be what we're trying to do with our content creation. The good byproduct of that is it good for SEO? It's good for brand, right? It's good for all that stuff. So that's our goal when we set up a frame of work is, dude, our goal is to get you to be the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350s typed in Google, right? But we want it to be Wiscode or Asphalt Authority that they're typing in. What we want is also, if somebody types in new tennis shoes, we want our tennis shoes, which is our business, to be in that top 3 no scroll zone, right? Or top 5 or whatever it is. So that's totally the game now. You guys are doing a great job of it. I think highlighting what makes you really different, like you did with Punctuality, was fantastic, and something that should be talked about a little bit more. That's an old school thing, bro. Like, you know, like when you go in, I don't get my haircut anymore. But you know, when you go into where you get your haircut to your barber and you just sit down in the chair and you don't have to say anything or do anything, you just know you're going to get taken care of. That's the feeling that you're putting out with Punctuality and highlighting some of these old school things in a new school way. And for me, that's a good flavor of both. So kudos to you on that one too, my friend.
Well, thank you. One other thing too, as far as like the content I'm creating, I put a budget for my business this last year to work with a videographer to help me with that, because that wasn't something I was good at, but I knew I needed. So just for a lot of small guys out there, you know, use your resources. Check who's local. Check out Blacktop Banter. Check out, you know, people who can help you do things at a high level that you can't do. So dude, I thought that was really important this year for us as a growth as a company and just being legit. So
yeah, dude. I mean, it allows you to not have to worry about highlighting what you do through videography, but it allows somebody else to do it, right? And then you get to use those clips for all your promotion things. Why everybody knows Wise here now at Blacktop Banter. He's our in-house videographer, and we do that. We provide that same thing, dude. Like, they're like, dude, we don't know what shots to get or how to make it look sexy or anything like that. I'm like, well, you can have us out for 2 days. We can capture content with you for 2 days, and it makes 6 months worth of content. Right?
That's huge.
It's a fee. You get it. You can reuse these clips. We can cut them up. We can mirror them. We can add music to them. We can do whatever you want to do with them, however you want. Dude, it's just we try to provide. We've done a great job of providing entertainment and knowledge for a long time, but some of it, dude, as bad as I want to dunk, I'm never going to be able to dunk, bro. I got to lower the kid's hoop all the way down, dude, and then feel good about myself to do it. So we try to provide what some people can't do or just seems monumental, because they're really good at doing what they do really well. And it may not be all the aspects of business nowadays, but I always enjoy finding people that are well-rounded like yourself, that have a great perspective on it as well. And then highlight the things that make them different. And there aren't, you know, like, there's it's not trade secrets, like I said. And you know, you were talking about me saying that earlier, like, it's not a secret sauce that's going to make it click anymore, everybody. Like, it's literally like Gerry made a video talking about why they were successful, right? And what makes them successful, not only for us but for his clients too. Because like I always say this, dude, who is going to do that? Who is going to put in that type of work? If you're going to put in that type of work, be that transparent, go as hard as I am, then you deserve a spot at the table. Like, I'll give you a spot.
Love that,
dude. But you know, are they going to, with all the knowledge and everything? I don't know, but we try to get them there. But yeah, I mean, we're with you on that one. Before we sign off for it today, can we once again give everybody your socials and where they can find Asphalt Authority and follow them?
Yeah, sure. It's Instagram. If you search Asphalt Authority, you can find our page. Same with Facebook. We'll have a YouTube channel drop in January 1st. We're really excited about that. We're going to be uploading all of our vlogs this whole year, where we documented our first job to the very last job of the season. We have shorts coming on there, and we just signed our contract for our entire 2023 video sessions with our guys for next year, which we're excited about. But yeah, that's where you can find us online. Our website is www.asphalt-authority.com.
Cool. All right, man. Before we go, we're going to do something fun. I got pod decks out. I'm just going to cut. All right. All right. I'm not going to look, so don't think that I'm doing this on purpose. This is a fun one. I've never had a chance to ask anyone this one. I know you can't read it, but I show it to the camera anyway, so people don't think I'm lying.
Yeah, can't see it.
Are you ready?
Ready.
It's, what is your favorite body part about yourself?
Man, my favorite. Okay, I'll tell you right now.
All right.
I played college soccer, so I have skills with my feet. So I'm gonna say my right foot, man, because a lot of people. It's just kind of random, you know. I'd say I go with my right foot. I paid for a college degree.
All right, bro. All right. Oh, I see. You're romantic about it. You owe that thing, right? You're that right foot. Cool. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today and sharing your journey and sharing what you know and what you've coming to know. We're going to follow along on your journey all the way through. I'm very excited. I see nothing but good things for Asphalt Authority and yourself in the future, dude. I'm very excited for that. So stay in touch with us. We'll help share some stuff as you get going through the year. I'm very excited about the vlog and the YouTube channel. This is the kind of stuff that we need in our industry in order to shed a positive light and show the outside world how awesome our trade is. And I'm thankful that you're going to be part of it. And I think that you're part of raising the bar, man. It's raising the bar 2023. We're going to make it happen. Don't forget, if this podcast, which it should come out before the National Paving Expo, the Blacktop Banter conference kickoff is at National Paving Expo this year on Tuesday.
I'll be there, man. I'll see you.
Gerry's coming. We're going to hang out there, and we're going to be giving away $15,000 worth of prizes. If you haven't registered for National Paving Expo, you still can. I'm guessing there's still rooms available. If not, you can sleep on my couch. Whatever you got to do in order to get there, we'll be glad to have you. Sleep under the table at the Blacktop Banter booth, wherever. We'll have you. We'll have you there. You know, we're very excited about this being the first one. This is something we want to do every year. And next year, we plan on presenting the Raising the Bar Award at the Blacktop Banner event, which goes out to a contractor that really set the pace for all of us to follow, hopefully, so that we create a better industry where we get better margins, creating better life for the people that work for us and our families as well, and our communities. So very excited about that. All right. That was episode 91 for myself, for Gerry Sebby at Asphalt Authority. Gerry, thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. And likewise, right back at you guys. Definitely look forward to further chats in the future.
All right, cool. Well, for myself and for Gerry, this is Blacktop Banter. And as always, we speak asphalt. Peace.